Hi guys, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can go on.
I'm so sorry for the delay in time. I really apologize for that. It's a technical issue. Thank God I've been able to resolve it. So welcome to this live coding section powered by Amoye. My name is Ibokwe Success, Junior Data Scientist at Amoye. Today I'm going to walk you through on how to build visualization in Power BI, how to create a relationship between fact table and dimensional table. So without wasting much of the time, let's start sharing. Let me share my screen so that we can start. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so data visualization using Power BI. So what is Power BI? Power BI is a Microsoft business intelligence tool that provides clarity to our data set using its amazing visualization. And this effect generates actionable information. Power BI has Power Pivot, Power Query, and Power View embedded in it, even though it's not written on it as those listed above. Like it's not written as Power BI, Power Pivot, Power Query, and Power View. Rather, you will see it as data, model, and report. But you should just know that Power Pivot and Power Query and Power View are the engines of Power BI. So Power Pivot is referred to as the task engine. It's a tool that shrinks big data into a meanings insight. Like no matter how big that data is, it brings it to a form of it giving insight to the client, to your team members and all. So Power Query is where your collected data is being transformed and ready to be fed into Power Pivot. Like Power Query works in such a way that it helps you to clean up your data. Power Pivot cannot work without Power Query. Sorry, Power Pivot can actually work without Power Query, but most times Power Query helps Power Pivot work efficiently. I don't know if you understand me, but what I'm trying to explain is that Power Query is an engine where your data sets are being transformed, being cleaned up, and all. Uh-huh. And you also get your data set via the Power Query. And Power Pivot tool has a way of getting its data set, but Power Query helps you to clean it up. But in a situation where you generate your data set from a good database, engine, you don't really need to use Power Query to clean up. It is assumed that the data set is already cleaned up. And also, let's move into the next slide. Sorry, Power View. I didn't explain Power View. Power View is where you build your findings, where you build your reports of what you have found so far. So our objective today is to, talk about data analysis expression measures, and it's called that in short. Then we talk about relationship views and all. So speaking about relationship view, the relationship lines distinguish the one or parent table of each relationship from the many or child table. A solid line indicates that the relationship is active, while a dotted line denotes an inactive relationship that can only be activated via use relationship function from that expression. Additionally, the arrow icon on the relationship line suggests whether cross-featuring is single directional, one that is one arrow one-way stuff, or bi-directional, that's two arrows going in different direction. So let's move on to that measure. That is a rich functional language. Is a rich functional language that supports variables and external expression references. Multiple variables can be defined within a DAS measures to improve readability, and the results of all the measures can be referenced as well. All analytical expressions ranging from simple sum and averages to custom complex statistical analysis are implemented within DAS measure. So you will be able to understand all these things I've read by the time I open the Power BI. So you have to give me some time. Let's open Power BI. Sometimes it takes time to open the Power BI app. So for the meantime, while we wait the desktop to open, let me further explain to you what relationship. In Power BI, you have different data sets. You have the fact table, you have the dimensional table, and all. So in the fact table contains is called the main table. It has all the variables necessary for your visualization. You understand? So you now have subsidiary tables. Those subsidiary tables, they need to be linked to your fact table for you to have a successful visualization. And meanwhile, there are some variables that the fact table will not have, but the subsidiary tables have them. And for you to join them successfully, you have to make sure you find and it has to work with using two columns that has unique values. You will see by the time it opens, you will see what I'm trying to say. So what I'm trying to say is that if the relationship column have the same name, in this case, Power BI will automatically select the column to define the relationship. So the both columns you're going to use to join two tables has to be unique, and they must have a very unique key or variable for them to be joined. Then there's also a situation whereby when you have a data set, a subsidiary data set, and it has two columns, and you want those two columns to join to a particular column at the fact table, you know that the Power BI will make sure that the column in fact table will have an active relationship with the first column. Then the second joining will be inactive. It will be inactive because why? A relationship has already been built. So if you want to build a second one, building a second one, it has to be inactive relationship. And for you to build an inactive relationship, you have to use relationship function. Is that expression measure? I've already mentioned that. So there as a point. So let's So can you all see my screen? Can you all see the Power BI screen?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can carry on.
Okay. So this is the Power BI dashboard right now. So you have to, first of all, for you to start working on this particular dashboard, you need to first of all get your data. These are either I get it through Excel or Power BI data set, but for now, I'm getting them from my Excel files. I'll pull your data from Excel. So it brings out a navigator for me to have a preview of what I want to load into the Power BI dashboard. For instance, I have to preview them. I have to check if it's what I really imported from the document. So I have to go through the stuff and check it's truly the data set. Yes, it is. Then I have to click on the ones I'm looking for. Okay. Now we'll need this. And when I click on this one, I found out that it's the same thing as the fin data. So there's no need to pick it. So I go further to check for products. Meanwhile, I got this data set from SQL. So I go, the next thing you go for your data transformation. First of all, you have to transform your data. Remember, I told you about Power Query. That is where you clean up your data, check for null values and all before you fully upload it to the Power BI dashboard. So, looking at the thing data set, check for null values. So let's click on country. So from here, you can see that we have a column that has null values. So what I'm going to do right now, I have to make sure I remove this column. I'm trying to do the data cleaning, transforming my data so it to be suitable for the Power Pivot. So what I need to do, I have to go to manage column. If I go there, then I'll see remove columns. So what I do, I remove the column. The column will be out of the way. So I go to the next, check for my rows, then I get, you see remove rows. So at this point now, you see different options. What you do is you go to remove blank rows. When you get there, remove the blank rows. Then check your other data sets. Okay. So after you're done, you just go to close and apply. You close it and apply the changes on your dashboard. So you can see the queries are being applied and changes are going on. So we'll wait, hold on for a while, let it be successful before we don't apply one. We have our data set right now. So I'll go to just to have a look. So from here now you can see the data set is fully ready with different columns: discount bound, unistory, manufacturing price, sale price, and all. So before we go over to joining the tables, like I mentioned earlier, this fin data set is our FAT data set. They call it FAT data set. Is the main data set that has all the necessary columns for visualization, while these other ones are called dimensional tables because they are very minimal when it comes to the features and the variables. So go to the linking. So it's time to link up our tables. And remember, if you don't link up your tables, if you don't create a relationship amongst your tables, you can't be able to do a successful visualization in Power BI. So this particular line right now, it's called single dimensional line because it's single. Then there's one that is double bi-dimensional line. I will show you that one before we finish. So look at it now. This product table is creating a link with the fact table, which is using the common column, product ID and product ID here at product table. So we're going to create a link with the segment table to the fact table. So if we create that link, you will see we have to look for where we have segment ID. So just drag it to the seg ID here and watch the link to be created. So it has successfully created. So move over to this is our other table. As you can see, the link has already been joined. You click on the line, you see how they were able to link up together through the same common column, country ID, country ID. So I want to get another data set, another table from Excel. That is our calendar table. Because if you want to calculate the sales of a company, you have to do it using the calendar data, a calendar table to know their sales, their year-to-year sales, or how much they were able to make from the time they started to the time the year right now, or maybe how much you were able to make last month and all. So you have to use your calendar table to determine that. So we're going to download the calendar table. So since we have our calendar table, we go back to the relationship, data modeling, Power Pivot. Then we have to link up the calendar data set we downloaded to our facts table. So just drag it closer to our fact table. Okay, so there's a little, okay, at this point now, looking at this calendar table and the fin data table, they don't have a common column. There is no date on my calendar table, so I have to, sorry, that was my mistake. I have to delete this and delete this calendar table, then go back and get the one that has date so that they can have the same column for relationship link, for the relationship to be linked up together now. So I'm just going to delete this and should have seen even have deleted, so go back to yeah, okay. So just speak. So here we are now. Okay, let's drag it. So now we have seen a date, and there's a date column at the fin data set. So just drag the date column here to the date column of the fin data set. See, this line here shows that they have already built a relationship. There's a link from the calendar table to the fin data table. So at this point, we go back to so I'm going to name this this sheet 1 here. I'm going to rename it to calendar table for easy identification. So at this point right now, we've seen the data set is ready. We've linked up all our data tables. So the next thing, we'll start building up relationship and all. So I will start building up visualization. Sorry. So at this point, I have to start from my. Assuming we want to calculate the sales of from the time the company started the business to the time they are assuming you are told to calculate the sales of the company from the time the company started this business. So we start from use some clustered column charts to build up the visualization. Mhm. So looking at this visualization, we are calculating sales by country and year. You can see that Canada, sorry, I think the year, I'm supposed to put the date here. Mhm. What is our just use this matrix. Choose to calculate this. Sorry guys, can you still see my screen?
Yes, we can go on.
Okay, sorry, I'm trying to make sure that my month and my year is reflecting because I can't see it here from here. Sorry. Right, guys. I'm only seeing the total number of sales per country. That's what I'm saying, but I want to calculate the total number of sales per country and at what year they had those sales. So that's what I'm trying to get here. So just a size patience. Let me find out why my calendar is not reflecting. Okay. So you can see that the date from the facts table is showing, but it's that it's not organized, that you cannot use the date from the fact table. You have to use a standard table, a standard calendar table for your dates, for calculating the sales by date, by 2007 sales by 2007, sales by 2005, and all. So we cannot just use the date from the fact table sales. So just give me some time. Let me find out everything. Here's my calendar table here. So that's not showing up. So my system is running. Okay. Let's move ahead. Let's go ahead. So from our pie chart, let's move over to, maybe I will check that calendar table later. So can you see my pie chart? You see that we're able to understand sales that went on in different countries. You can see Canada. Canada has is represented by the sky blue. Canada has over 21.38% sales, while Germany has about 29.22 million sales, sorry, $29.22 million sales. And this is from the percentage, you will see that it's about 21.07% sales. Now, if you go around, you can see that Canada has the highest percentage of sales. It means that there were higher sales in Canada more than other countries. So looking at this visualization right now, you can format it, like you can work on it, like changing the colors and all that. You can even change the letter, the font and all. So you see how I'm going to I decided to change Canada to purple, and to change, you see it has changed. So you can also see at this point I want to increase the letters of the, I can increase the text size so that to be very visible. You can even go ahead and add add title to the visualization. See, I can even go ahead and add a title. Maybe I can delete this one and add another one. Sales by, just telling you that you can actually edit the you can even go ahead and change the position of that title. You see it has changed. You can even increase the text size to make it very bold. You can even change the font. Something clearer. So any style that suits you, you can even change back the title to keep turn it back where it was before. You can take it to your right and you can take it to your put it at the center, you can take it to your left side. So going ahead to look out for other things to be the dashboard. So we check the sales, we check the total sales of each product. I will use this or start column chart to check the total sales of each product. So at this point, you'll be able to see the product that had the highest sales. So in order to help your visualization to see the written products down there, so I can see very well. So I'll just work on the visualization on the chart so that I can be able to see the text. Okay, you can see that I've increased the text size. Can even change it to so as to make it very thick. Go back to the y-axis to see check data size. And change the font to so at this point you can see that Passio had the highest number of sales. The sales of the product Passio generated more revenue for the company than other products. And you can see that Caratera generated very low revenue for the company. So as of you can see Montana is also generated a quite number of huge amount of money for the company compared to other products. So you can see that visualization helps you understand the data set very well, helps you to have a quick understanding of what your table is talking about, of the information, the patterns and everything that the data set has. So let's go ahead and build another visualization. Okay, so I just recovered my files because I forcefully rebooted my laptop, so I wasn't able to close the Power BI very well. So these are the files I recovered. So let's just use this data set instead of the other one. I showed you how to upload from Excel. So using this particular data set right now, we have to go and create a relationship at the detail model Power Pivot. So as you can see from this angle, the relationship has already been created automatically. It's already been created. So now, from what I was telling you about, this is an active relationship being created. Then this particular dotted line shows that the relationship is not active. So I'll just take this. I'll just drag this backwards so that I can see. So these are our fact sales table. That's the fact sales table. Let's see the relationship has been created. So if you click on this line, you see that our fact sales table has created a relationship with sales order shipping table with a common column, date from the fact sales table and ship date from the sales order shipping table. Now, this relationship right here is called an active relationship. Remember when I was explaining with a PowerPoint slide? So this particular relationship, now, the one with dotted lines, is created with date and order date. So as I was telling you before, to create a multiple relationship, you have to use a use relationship function to establish this, to make this inactive relationship to be active. So we're going to see how I'm going to do that, because we will not just only determine the sales by order date or by the time people were ordered. Okay, how much did the company make from the order made so far? How much did the company make? How much did the company make? So that is what we're trying to determine. Then we can also determine how much did the company make from the shipping, from the products that were being shipped out. Okay, how much did the company make? So we're going to determine two things: sales by order date and sales by ship date. So now going over to the calendar date, you can see that two inactive relationship has been created between the order date and the ship date too. So we're going to use the function, that function I told you about, to make this relationship active. So going over to calculate. So at this point, we're going to create a new measure. We're going to click on the new measure icon to create a new measure. So looking up here, you see you have to write the name of the measure you're trying to calculate. Then you have to write where you want the measure to be saved. At this point, the Power BI already chose where it's going to be saved. That's calendar. And no, that's not where I want it to be saved. I want it to be saved under this sales order shipping. Under this particular table. Lost that output. So just click another. Can you all see my screen? Okay.
Yes, you can go on.
Okay. Sorry guys. The Power BI is a bit it's very slow. Power BI is usually like that, especially when you're on live section like that. You know this. Okay, this is a particular visualization that I built before now. So I was going to really explain it very well to everyone, but because I lost some files while like I told you I've had to forcefully reboot my system. So I just recovered the files. So from here, that measure I wanted to calculate is actually here. I'll just show you how I was able to do that. So if I click on this, you see that sales by order date. Okay, look at this here now. Use relationship. See this function. Look at the function here. So how I did this thing is I said, okay, sales by order date equals to calculate. This calculate function here is a DAS function. It's used for all numerical calculation in Power BI. Then I now said bracket open, sum bracket open. At this point, I'm trying to sum all the sales. I'm trying to sum the sales in my fat sales. Like I'm trying to calculate all the total sales. The total sales. I don't know if you understand me. Now, after doing that, okay, let me do it so that you see. So at this point now, once you type fat sales, fat underscore sales, you see the Power BI pop-up options. So you choose the one you're calculating for. So I'm calculating the total number of sales. Then I close the bracket, add comma, then go over to the relationship. Let me just So when you're mentioning the relationship, you have to mention the relationship between the column and the table name. And the table name is sales order shipping, and the column name is order date. So we're picking sales order shipping, and the column name is order date. When you do that, you add your comma, then you go over to filter the date. So we want our calendar date and our order, sales order shipping order date to have an active relationship. So I'll just click on this right now. Then use the bracket again to ensure that if I run this, you have our sales by order date. So I think it's coming up. So before that comes up, let me be explaining this particular visualization. If you walk through the visualization, you see year, month, which is year is 2007. You see month is September. You see the total number of sales in September. You see how big it is, about 325 million plus. And looking at this particular visualization, you find out that in 2007, the company had a very massive sales in 2007, especially in September. The company had a very massive a massive sales in 2007. Then when you check 2006 September, so right now we're going to be doing year-to-year comparison. So when you look at this visualization, you see 2006 September, the company had a very minimal sales. So at this point, you can see the company is growing as the year goes by. The company is really growing as the year goes by. So our function has actually worked. So how I created this visualization. Let me create another one. First of all, we can even go further. First of all, I added the year and the month to the rows. Then I added the total sales to the values, because mostly the field you're supposed to add to the values are numerical fields. If you add a year column inside the values, is going to count the year, and that will not give us what we're looking for. So, but if you count our sales column or our total sales column, that's okay. It's not an issue, because that's what we're looking out for, to know the total number of our sales, isn't it? So to what to add to the column, assuming I should just add the colors of the products. So to the column, to have a better understanding. Assuming I add the column, sorry. So looking at this particular visualization, I'm going to click on tree map, and that will change everything. So at this point, you can see that people preferred black products than other colors. Maybe because of the fact that black colors don't attract debt like that compared to other products. You see, after the black colors, you see that silver color had the second highest sales, followed by yellow, followed by blue. So let me just remove color, because that's not what I'm trying to determine. So this is the visualization. You see, this month of September, it has the highest number of sales. And if I add year to this visualization, let's see. have our sales by year. Let's see total number of sales by month and by day, by quarter. So if I change the visualization to tree map, so we have that other visualization we saw earlier. So you can see how it gives this visualization. When you hover around it, you see that September 2007, and you know September is inside this quarter three. So if you remove the quarter, yeah, you only have September. Okay, let's put it back. So in a nutshell, we can further that 2007 had a higher sales more than every other years. So let's move over to the next one. So looking at this visualization right now, you will see total sales YTD by year and month. The same thing I showed you earlier. How I built this visualization is the same thing. I took the total sales YTD to my values, then I took my dates to my axis. Then that was how I got to get this visualization. You can see that 2007 December total sales YTD had the company had a very high number of sales in 2007, followed by November, followed by October, followed by September, followed by August, followed by December. So the visualization helps you to understand your data very well and get an insight from your data. So how I was able to calculate that total YT, the total number of sales in a year. That's the function. The function is called TYT, total year, total number of sales by year. So I'll show you how I was able to manage that. So this is how I was able to get the total sales YTD. So the same using the calculate function, bracket open, total sales. These total sales have already been calculated. I'm going to show you how I was able to realize it. So if you go out of this and get a new measure. Let me show you how I was able to. time you type the part sales, the table name, to bring out different column, you now choose the one you're calculating for. So if I run this, that's how I got my total sales. That is here. This particular measure I calculated here. This is how I got it. I got it using this method. So I'm not going to run this, I'll just cancel it and forge ahead. So just to round off right now, because time is I'm already behind schedule. So I'm also going to conclude this using showing you total sales by order date and total sales by ship date. I'm going to do that before. This is total sales by total sales by order date. I'll put it here. Sales by ship date. Because I'm for my total sales. When you check, look at this right now, you see total sales by order date, total sales by ship date, total sales by, this is a normal total sales, like the company's total number of sales from the time they started to, assuming from the time they started to now they are existing, this is their number total of sales. Then this is the total number of sales by ship date, because we want to know that, okay, this is an order date right now. This is the total number of sales by order date. So people can make an order, but at that time they made that order. It won't be that time the goods will leave the company. So we want to know how much money did the company make by order, just by ordering, how much did they make? Because by the time someone orders a goods from a company, I'm sure they must have discussed price and everything. So the company will be like, okay, at this point, we're making a certain amount of money. But did the company really make that money at that time? So you talk about the shipping. Okay, I'm sure, but for the company to have shipped the product, that means they have received the money. So how much did they make releasing their goods out there? Then this total number of sales is the actual money they have made, which means that the goods has been sold. So using a visualization, let's check it. Even though they are almost the same figure, but the figure somehow, in fact, they are the same figure. But the reason why we make this calculation is that sometimes someone can make an order, but at that point, the order was not released, and the order might not be released that day. It might be released tomorrow. So that's why it's good to know the total number of sales by ship date or order date. So I think that explains that. If I check this, if I put this on in, you see they are the same calculation, but it's very good to know how to do this calculation so that it will be very easy to identify in case if you have been asked a question. I've already explained this visualization. You can see from here, you see that the products with black colors had the highest number of sales compared to products with yellow colors, compared to products with silver colors, compared to products with red colors and all. So at this point, you can even see that Lab products, the same thing I just explained earlier. So the same thing here. Okay. If you check this sales by order date, sales by ship date, and total number of sales, you see that the percentage is the same thing. That means the same time the goods were ordered was the same day the goods were shipped out, and it was the same day the company was giving, received the transaction, was paid, received the transaction of the money of the goods that was delivered. Yeah. Check this particular visualization, you see that this sky blue here represents the accessories, while the blue represents the bike. You see that a lot of people bought bike products, bought the product called bikes more than other products compared to components and clothing. So people choose to buy bikes more than buying clothing and components. So I already explained this. If you look at this visualization, you find out that the company had a very high number of sales in September. When you check September in other years, you see that the sales was not as the same as September 2007. Let's check 2006 September. Yes, 2006 September here. We found out that the sales in 2006 September is not as huge as the sales in 2007 September. So it can only mean that the company is growing as the year goes by. So at this point right now, I want to start entertaining questions. Do you have any question to ask me? If you have any question, you can ask at this point. Hello? Do you have any question?
If you have any questions, drop it in chats and she'll reply. If there's no one, you can call it a day.
Hello, if you have any question, you can go ahead and ask, please.
So since I think there's none, you can stop sharing the screen. There's none for now.
All right. What just happened though? I'm tired. Hey God. I hate this. I hate this. That just happened.
You are still audible, Sussex. I can hear you.
Hello.
All right, we can hear you. Can hear you. So I guess we've come to the end of today's session. Thank you for that interesting session. Since there are no questions, we can call it a day and see you on the next session. Thank you very much.